right, welcome back. Here we are today looking at 1-4, simplifying algebraic expressions, sometimes even writing those, and then working on simplifying combining like terms. So let's just kind of write some algebraic expressions. If we have 12 apples in a basket after n more are added, we could certainly say 12 plus n, the algebraic expression that we have there using variables. All right, now this one might be a little tricky. The number of days it will take to walk 100 miles if you walk m miles per day. All right, well think of this. If you walk 100 miles in one day, or 1 mile a day, it would take you 100 days. If you walk 2 miles a day, it would take you 50. 4 miles a day would take you 25 days. So what we see here is it's going to be 100 divided by how many miles you walk per day. Okay, so again, sometimes writing those expressions, sometimes good to just kind of look at some specific examples, kind of get you what you're doing, what operation that's working there. All right, how about this one? Lucy's age Y years after her 18th birthday. So we could say 18 plus Y would be what she had there. All right, the number of seconds in H hours. Well, let's see, there's 60 seconds per minute, 60 minutes per hour. Okay, so then we'd have to go 60 times 60, so we'd have to go 3,600. H is what we'd have to go there. Okay, so that's how we convert those. All right, so again, just writing some expressions, that's always good. And then remember, as we do operations, and by the way, if you type things in your calculator, it should understand these order of operations. Remember PEMDAS, I always remember it as please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. It always tells us to do parentheses first, what's inside. Then do exponents, then you always multiply and divide from left to right, and then you finish up with adding and subtracting, working left to right on those. So you got to remember those order of operations that you do those things. So we'll ask you to simplify some expressions. And again, if you want to in your calculator, just go ahead and type this in, 2 and put in parentheses 5. Just replace the variables with their value, 5, 2, plus 4, 2. If you just type that like it is on the calculator, it gets it. The TI-84s are really good at this. You can do that. Otherwise, you can do it yourself. Obviously, we'd have 10 minus 10. Okay, well, that takes care of that. Plus 8, so we'd end up with 8 is what we should end up with there, is what we have. Okay. All right, so again, working on those, make sure that you don't forget the order of operation. I didn't see any parentheses. Now, in this case, well, we're going to have to square some things first. So let's square the Q first. That's 49. All right, plus 4 times 3, well, all right, that's 12 times Q is going to be 84, okay. 84, all right, and then minus 9, okay. 3 squared is 9 there, so again, always good to do those squares first. 40, looks like we'd have 40 here, and then that would be 124. And again, you can always type that in the calculator. It knows order of operations. Calculators are very helpful in that regard. Okay. All right, now once again, when we're simplifying algebraic expressions, make sure that we're only combining like terms. All right, so like here, we have like terms. Sometimes I'll underline them just to make sure I catch them all. They like to do it here in the PowerPoint with drawing arrows and stuff, but just make sure you can only add x's to x's, and make sure if you have an x squared, it can only be added to an x squared. It can't add that to an x. So make sure that the variables are the same, and then we add the coefficients is what we do. All right, now one thing to remember is that if there's nothing in front of the variable, we do understand that there is a 1 there. We usually don't write that, okay, but just keep that in mind when we're combining those. Okay. All right, so here, what I like to do is identify the common ones first. So 3x squared and 4x squared, that would be 7x squared if I combine those. And then there's nothing else to combine, so I'll just write it as 2x minus 3y. All right, so find those like terms first. I like to underline them just to make sure I got them all. Some of the longer ones can be a little confusing if we're not careful. All right, so this one, okay, well, first thing we have to do is distribute this, right? Remember distributive property. And this brings up a good point. Whenever you have more than one variable, you always want to write it in alphabetical order. So you always want to go AB, don't go BA. Yeah, right? Let's go JK, don't go KJ. But that way, it's easier to tell if they're like terms. So we're going to go 6JK squared. That's what happens there. Now I'm going to multiply here. We always write the number, the coefficient first, 7, and then write the variables in alphabetical order. All right, now the rest of them I can just write down as you see them. All right, and what we notice here is look at these two. These are like terms here, but when I combine those together, oh my gosh, those eliminate. That's 0. 7 and a negative 7 is 0. All right, now if I combine these two, I get 15jk squared. Okay, so we'll have some fun today simplifying algebraic expressions. I have to write a few to model those and then simplify. Remember, add like terms. All right, that's it for 1-4. Until next time, I'm Mr. Boone.